Yes, we are so proud of him. You know, I have to be honest. I'm a bit worried about our daughter getting into college. It's so competitive out there, and I feel overwhelmed with where to start. I completely understand. Listen, I felt the same way. And then I met Dr. Gina of Education Prep Centers. She put a plan in place that helped our son stand out in the admissions process and that gave us a peace of mind for how to create a financial roadmap for his future. Wow, that's great. Sounds like I need to give her a call. Yes, she definitely helped our son find the perfect college, meet all his deadlines, and help us feel less anxious about the whole process. You need to reach out to her. Just check out educationprepcenters.com and set up a complimentary assessment with Dr. Gina. You'll be so glad you did. Education Prep Centers, college admissions made easy.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at jococommunityradio.com.
Me and my crew, although we made it past, we on top. We keep on pushing, bars are raising. We don't stop. No one can replicate the magic that we unlock. Cause we on top. Put your hands up in the air. 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 Put your hands up in the air.
Happy Monday night, everybody.
Happy Monday night.
Yeah, it is Monday. It was a beautiful day outside today.
Yes.
Did you get to be outside any at all? Just running back and forth?
No, this morning it wasn't. Welcome to another edition of the Bombshell here on Joco Community Radio with Lori Moore, and I am Tiffany Carlen. And it's good to be back. You know, sometimes like when you start the show off and then I'm adding in, or like I'm the second voice, it always makes me think of sweaty balls.
How funny.
I don't know why.
It's all good. So we're both like trying to get all the stuff live and all the Facebook stuff so we could start talking. But yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to fix our screen here because it's got it like there's a
got headphones and glasses and hat and all the extra stuff today.
No, it's still doing it. It's like her guest is still on. Like, what's going on here, people? Well, I'll fix that while we're talking. It's been a good week. It is beautiful out. It was really humid this morning here in Texas, in Burleson. Like it felt.
Because it never cooled. It didn't cool off a lot last night. We were outside late last night and it didn't. Cheers. It was not it never cooled down any. So, but it still is pretty. I mean, still beautiful outside.
It wasn't bad. Todd was out there cooking some steaks. So, I mean, clearly it wasn't too bad. That's a good wine. It's a lovely.
And is our
is that from
our friend Amy Bowers wine from Wintergrass Winery?
So what is it? Do you want to go grab
their Malbec?
Oh, that's good.
I think it's her Malbec.
I hadn't had that yet because this one's fairly new. This was one that came in. Yeah, if you're not familiar with Wintergreen Vineyards, Wintergrass. Sorry, yes, that's what I said. Right, Wintergrass Vineyards is out of Cleburne, Texas, here in Johnson County, and she makes some fabulous wine. But this is the 28. We're sipping on the 2018 Malbec, and these grapes came from the Texas High Plains. So I love that she puts it on her bottle.
I know we need to have her back on again.
Yeah, she's got some new wines out now. So that's very tasty. I like it.
Yeah.
And for those that are listening on the radio. I've got my pick your poison. I've got the pick your poison glass this time, and
I've got
Lori has the
bad
and boozy.
Opposite ones last week.
If you're interested in checking out any of the wines from a local Texas winery, and you have not checked out Wintergrass yet, Is it? I'm looking for it on the bottle. Is it Wintergrass Vineyards or wine?
Vineyards and Winery.
Vineyardsandwinery.com?
Mhm.
Okay. So Wintergrass Vineyardsandwinery.com. And you want to check it out. This is a 2018 Malbec that we are tasting. It's very, very good. Does it give a does she this is something that's probably be really important for some people to know. They keep things as natural as possible and they use minimal sulfites
They do.
and never sterile filter. So, right? Is that what that says? Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
And
sterile filter.
And I tagged them on there. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And so that's good. I mean, there's a lot of European wines that don't have that are very low in sulfites or have no sulfites at all. And that's what they say is the contributing factor to getting a headache in the morning.
Yes. I know, and I always forget. I have those. So they say if you buy,
I know. Last night I could have used it drinking my wine with my steak.
So they, I have those little things that you spin around in there and takes all the sulfur out of it, sulfates and stuff.
Sulfites and the antihistamines.
But I forget about them.
I
So you're supposed to buy Italian wine. Italian wine is not made with the sulfates in it. So when you go over to Total Wine, look over in the Italian section.
Well, the case that I get every quarter. So every 3 months I get a case of wine and they're all European.
Okay. So those should be better for you.
Yeah. And then you drink more of it.
Just gonna drink this Snoop Dogg wine later.
That's what you're gonna have later.
Saving it until next weekend.
And that's the
19.
It's the 19 crimes.
I'm just, because I need something else to worry about my life. I'm trying to get all of the 19 crimes corks. So the ones I already have right now, I'm about halfway through them, and they're on my refrigerator at home. So, I need to drink more 19 crimes so I can get the corks. So if anybody else saves their 19 crimes wine corks, let me know because I can use some corks. I mean, I have plenty of corks already, but I want those.
Man, I'm stuck on this. I don't know why this is defaulting to like we've got two people on the
That's all right.
a guest on, but oh well.
With one camera, it'll be okay.
Well, I can't I can't fix this problem. So if you're watching a stream on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, we're in beta for LinkedIn, which means LinkedIn has the live video streaming as well, but they're in beta. So if it's somewhere you're looking to stream live to stream, if you do, just podcasts or anything, that's something that's coming. So you may want to look into it. So anyway, but it looks like we've got a guest on, but we don't. It's just a black screen.
It's Monday. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. Well, one of our shows earlier, her show that was live earlier, she had on a guest like this, and it may be that person didn't completely
click out of their screen.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's okay.
It's possible.
Well, it's all right. We're still going to
fix it here in a minute.
We're still going to talk about cool stuff.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
So global, if you are a small business owner, if you're an entrepreneur and you're not familiar with GOO, which is GEW, it stands for Global Entrepreneurship Week in Fort Worth. Well, it's global. I'm going to talk specifically to the one that takes place in Fort Worth. So GOO is coming up, and the launch, it's November 7th to the 12th. For 2021 local Global Entrepreneurship Week. This is a fantastic program to get involved in. You can register for GOO Fort Worth Week on the streaming platform Brushfire for both virtual and in-person sessions. So you can do both this year. You can watch. You can watch virtually, or you can be there in person, and you have to register for it. I'm going to include links. Throughout this, I'll put it into the streaming, and then I'm going to tell you. Well, you just want to go to GOO, GEW, Fort Worth spelled out .org. So GOOFortWorth.org will get you to where you can register for all of the different speakers. They've got an amazing lineup.
Yeah, she was telling me about it the other day. Super, super exciting.
Amazing lineup. And so, in the meantime, what I want to tell you about is the kickoff, and this is where we come into having the conversation about women kicking off global.
So it kind of makes it and wine. So it all helps.
Yeah. So,
But no, she really concentrates on women in business and women entrepreneurs, and she sees things from a different perspective, and she's using her wealth of knowledge to share and help us grow,
yeah,
which is so amazing.
I mean, that's what we're supposed to
And
do.
she's so passionate about it. When you sit down and you start talking to Tamara about the things that she's doing and the things that she has taken on, that even though they're hard for her, she still is learning so much stuff. And like I said, I had a conversation with her the other day, and it was I just always love talking to her. She just gives you a little, it's kind of like getting a little pep talk with
right
when you talk to her. So
she may be stopping in. I'm not sure if she's gonna make it over here to join us at the table, but she may.
she does have a lot going on.
Yeah, she's busy.
Yes,
She's
she
really
is.
busy. In fact, so we were down. I was at. I had not been at Ensemble Co-working. Completely two different companies, guys. I own Ensemble Media Group LLC, which owns the radio station, and she owns Ensemble Co-working. I had to tell her, I'm like, are you okay if I use, like,
It's the
if I
definition
use
of an
part of
it's
your
definition of ensemble, though.
name? It is
So,
the definition
yeah.
of ensemble. I
Yeah.
mean, we're an ensemble media group, and we do different things. And this is just the first radio station. We're getting ready to launch our second one here soon. And so, anyway,
So you get to go over there?
yeah, I
You
got to
haven't
go
been
over.
over there in a long time.
I have not. Well, I mean, she was shut down during the pandemic.
Right.
Although there were a few of her permanent residents there that were coming into their own private office space, and they technically were allowed to be open.
Right.
Any co-working space that accepts mail, because she's got some that just use the address for mail.
Right.
And then of course she has all of her, her people who have their permanent offices there
Right.
had to come in and get their mail too. So they were actually allowed
They
to
could come in,
remain
yeah.
open.
I love the whole concept of that. Like the first one of those I went to was in Dallas, and it wasn't. They were part of a mimosa walk, and they were one of the sponsors, and we went in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the coolest thing. And then Tamara opened hers, and it's such a great idea.
So I was there, and I want to say unfortunately, but also fortunately, for one of my dear friends, one of my longest friends here in Texas, Valora. Her mom, Casey, passed away.
Yes.
And I mean, you want to say complications from COVID, but I mean, basically, she had pneumonia, and she didn't go in when she didn't tell anybody she was sick for 10 days, first of all. And she didn't go in. So by the time she went in, it was the pneumonia was too
much.
It was too much. And so we celebrated her life at Ensemble Co-working.
Awesome. On Saturday.
Because she was cremated. So it's, we didn't even have ashes there. It was just a celebration of life.
Yeah.
And watching your friends have to, mourn the loss of their mom. And of course we've already lost our mom. So it was a very emotional day. But also a wonderful time with this family, because I consider them family too. And anyway, so I hadn't been in Ensemble Co-working and for like a year and a half, really, because life was just really busy before that. And I was like, wow, I mean, she's changed so much stuff in there and added stuff. I mean, and she's been growing over these years and changing and how she does things and what works better. And so I just love the flow right now, and how she's got it set up. And
I think that's part of the thing. I mean, that was part of the thing that her and I talked about, where, and this is what her forte is with, helping people out. She sees things, the way she explained it to me, she sees things from a 360-degree view, and she doesn't have the emotional attachment that we have to our own businesses.
Right.
So, she can look at things, but she also helps you to realize, like things that you're doing in your business, are they growing your business or are they hindering your business? And we get we talked about this last week too. Like women, we get this idea in our head, and we get tunnel visioned on it, and we cannot let something go, even when it may not be going right, because we want to just, like I said, I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And sometimes we have to learn to let go, and then bigger and better things bigger and better things come on.
Right.
So, but yeah, she's so good at seeing all those things. So she's done a lot of that she's done a lot of the changing in her own, in her own business as well. So it's cool to watch her grow too.
Yeah. I mean, you want to, it's evolving.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I
And
mean?
well,
It
and
just
business
evolves and you don't know where
business
it's going to
should
land all the
right,
time.
business should always be evolving. I mean,
Right.
that's one of the things as entrepreneurs that you have to realize is you have got to constantly be looking for, the next bigger, better, brighter, updated, restream, reevaluate things, because if you get to a point where you don't do that anymore, then you kind of become stagnant. And it doesn't mean that you won't be successful, but it means that you may not be possibly as successful as you could be if you allow the changes to happen.
Right. So, I mean, she's done that. And the Power of We events that she started a few years ago. I mean, that's been so powerful.
Mhm.
And just I mean, you seriously learn new things. And the cool thing about them is that you get to learn. She does it in a way that the women who are there are participating.
Yes.
And so they're getting a voice at the event as well. And so
Right.
you're not just learning from the speaker or her, you're learning from each other within the group.
Well, because she's the collaboration of women that she has together are, they allow people to, talk and share. And, it doesn't mean that everything that they share is going to be something that you would do, but you're obviously there to learn and to grow. So when you hear other people's perspective on things, or even somebody that can, there's a lot of brainstorming that goes on, and you can, that helps too, because sometimes you see different people see things from a different perspective than you do.
Right.
And when there's not the emotion involved in it, like we have in our own businesses, then you can kind of get good ideas to move forward.
All right, awesome. Tamara's on her way.
Yay.
So she is going to join us. So that's really cool. The last one we had live in 2019, Deborah Ferguson from NBC was
Uh-huh.
our MC
Yeah.
for the event, and I did stream it. I streamed kind of in and out.
Yeah.
On Joco, because it was a very long event, and you don't want to stream that whole thing
can't do the whole-
because
yeah.
some of it was, there was think tank moments. So we
Right.
we would talk and have a question set for us, and then it was okay. All right, talk amongst each other and ask these questions and have a discussion. And so you would go to that. So we tried not to stay. I tried not to stay live during that portion
Right,
of it,
right.
but then came back in when we were ready to share our ideas and feedback, with the microphone. It was great. And that one was about diversity and inclusion. It was
Yes.
it was a powerful event
Yes.
because we weren't just talking about diversity and inclusion of women, but now you're talking about race, religion. What are all the barriers and things that have been, I don't want to say hot topics. I want to say important topics that, LGBTQ.
Yeah.
How do you see each other as women, through the thinking about diversification. Is that right? Thinking about diversity
Diversity
in general.
challenges of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. And so, it was a really, because it was amazing that you had women that spoke very, very openly
Mhm.
about their challenges.
Yeah.
And there was even one of the discussions, or part of it that came up from one of the women, was a discussion about looking at clientele from kind of almost prejudging as to whether they could afford you or not.
Right.
It was almost a kind of moment like, that was I can't remember exactly how she said it, but it
so
was
those
yeah.
kind of things go along with. There are several businesses that I know, the people that we know, we have a pretty large amount of business entrepreneur friends, women's business, entrepreneurs, and as in general, and women entrepreneurs, a lot. We ran the gamut of how many businesses we know that people own. But I think the most part of that is not, we need to learn to not judge whether somebody can afford us. It's, you need to learn how to charge what your worth and your value is.
Right.
And that's all you need to concentrate on, your own self, instead of worrying about what other people are doing, and then the right people will fall into place.
That is something I think that shifts at for a lot of businesses
Mhm.
when you shift that mindset.
Yep.
For sure. And so, like, even part of it is this: I don't look at another radio station as being a competition or even focus on that.
Nope.
Like, oh, well, what are they doing over there? They're going to do what works for their
That's right.
radio station.
Yep.
I'm going to focus on what works for this radio station, for the listeners, our advertisers, our business partners, and all of our show hosts. So I'm focusing on what is or is not working here and what I can make better. What that radio station is doing, radio station B is
But you've
doing,
got
does
right.
it
No.
doesn't
Well,
affect me.
you have different dynamics. I mean,
Yeah.
our salon, we created the environment that we have at our salon because that's what we wanted. Does it mean it's for everybody? No, it's not for everybody. But I promise you, there are enough salons in Burleson to make every single person happy. We are definitely grateful, thankful, and humbled by the people that do walk in our door. And, we always want them to feel welcome and loved and appreciated. But it also doesn't mean I have to cave and do things like other people. Like,
Right.
I'm always looking to move us up.
And there's nothing wrong with actually looking at another. I mean, if you want to put it in the competition way and go, oh, they're doing something super cool. That's a cool idea. I wonder if something like that
Oh yeah.
would work with my business
Yeah.
too. I mean, you have to take it from I'm going to do it just because they're doing it. That's not always the case.
No, and I have
and by the way, take
several-
that as a compliment.
Right.
Take that as a compliment.
I have several other friends that own salons, and we talk a lot about we talk a lot about, it seems like we kind of start going through the same challenges at the same time, and it's kind of hit or miss. Like, if I reach out to them first or they reach out to me first, or, whatever, more like, oh my gosh, are y'all having this kind of week? Are y'all doing, like, okay, what can we do about this? Okay, well, let's stand together. Let's figure out how to make this work. This is work for me. This is a challenge. This is and I would rather it be like that instead of, again, having that jealousy or thinking, oh, I'm going to do it like they did just because they did it. I don't know their whole dynamics and their whole business. So we got to, whatever works best for them works best for them.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, and
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we grow together.
It is.
That is how we grow together.
And that's
Is
what
lifting each other up.
One of the girls that I follow, I met her on Facebook and have followed her on there, and she has multiple streams of income coming in for being a boss babe. One of the things that she said this morning was instead of listening to the radio or scrolling Facebook or TikTok or whatever like that, she listens to podcast in the morning. In the mornings that she listens to her podcast, she definitely sees that her her mindset is more of a business mindset. She's definitely more motivated to work and make things happen for her businesses. And she said, instead of just, if you're going to have that mindset of being a successful boss babe, then you have to, you kind of have to let yourself every minute be something good.
Right.
So,
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, we actually talked about this on one of our shows last week, that I was kind of sitting in with him for a few minutes until his guest joined because they were having some challenges on getting his internet to connect. And so we were talking about that, and it's so interesting because he's a life coach, and I shared something with him that he loved how I put it, and it was sharing your glow. And I can't take credit for that. That came from a big networking organization. My brain froze. Did you see that? Like, it totally just froze. Like, wait a minute, I can see it. What's the name of that organization? Anyway, so it came from this other organization. It's not my idea. But it's to share your glow. And it's the same concept of, if you were, the best description I can give, like as a visual, is Christmas Eve candlelight service.
Right.
And the lights go down dark as soon as everybody starts, you take your candle and you light somebody else's candle, and then they take their candle and they light somebody else's candle. But when you do that, you don't lose your flame.
Right.
And so that's that idea of sharing your glow.
Right.
And so you can share your glow with other women without losing your own flame. You're not losing something.
Right.
By sharing that.
And that was another thing that she was talking about. And her name's Jessica Green. But another thing that she talked about too was, you you got to quit hanging out with the people that are trying to beat you down. You know, if the people you're hanging out with are the ones constantly questioning and challenging not in a good way, but in a bad way, what you've got going on and why you're doing it and why you work so hard, that you might need to rethink who you're hanging out with.
Right.
And we start hanging out with other people that are like-minded, that are business oriented and willing to move forward. And those are the conversations that you have. Then you definitely, when you're sharing your glow, they're sharing their glow. Everybody's going to glow up.
Glow up.
Glow up.
I love it.
Going to glow up.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a cool way. That's a cool way to get like point across to some women who might be stuck in that culture or that thinking process of everybody's your competition. That's what the power of we is about.
Right.
It's about diminishing that culture mindset,
Right.
that we as women are all in competition with each other, because that is not the case.
No, and we shouldn't be that. We shouldn't be that way. You know, I mean, that's sad that society has put us in this position. I think.
Definitely.
So
there's no doubt about it. I mean, I think that's that competition that naturally kind of happens with, girls and young women. And then I mean, honestly, I think it gets worse as you get older. For some, not for all.
Right. No,
yeah.
You think your mindset thinks that should get easier as we get older, and it really doesn't get any easier.
But you're kind of groomed for it. I don't want to say so much today as, I kind of look back to the 50s as being one of those time periods where it seemed to really be, everybody was so, you're kind of, the idea of what I'm saying about being groomed is that, okay, you got to get, you have to marry a doctor or an attorney, and,
right.
There's not a lot of men in this town, so you got to game up. And, those things are sometimes trained into young women.
And that's sad.
Right.
Yes.
And, who's got the better makeup and who's the hair and so that kind of stuff. And then of course, looking in magazines and all that kind of stuff, it just brings on that craziness. But I think a lot of it has to do with,
well, there's a lot. I mean, and now
love,
but nowadays it's social media. What's on social media is, people put their best foot forward on social media, and people don't really see what's going on behind the scenes, and people are not honest about, they just want to show their best life. They don't show the struggles, and people think they're failing because they don't see the struggle.
Well, we're going to dive into some of that designing culture when we come back from this break here on Joco Community Radio. The Bombshell. We'll be back.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair, the world's lightest wheelchair, is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they've got you covered. From me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
The voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Put your hands up in the air, put
So. Welcome back to the second half of the Bombshell here on Joco Community Radio. Joco Community Radio is the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen, simply go to tuneinjoco.com, where you can download the free app or listen live right there. We are also streaming simultaneously on Spreaker.com with select shows such as this one, streaming to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, soon to be LinkedIn, but LinkedIn's still in beta. All of our shows can be found on any one of your favorite podcast platforms, such as Spotify and iTunes. Check out our lineup and more at jococommunityradio.com. Thanks for tuning in. This episode and more brought to you by Next Level Claims, making your insurance work for you. Get them in your corner before the next storm hits at facebook.com/next level claims, and let them help make sure that your insurance claims get paid in the full amount, because most insurance companies,
well, they're not really for you.
They're not for you.
They're still trying to make the living too.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad to say that, but it is. They 10 times out of 10, they're not going to pay the full amount of the
least
claim.
amount they have to pay.
This episode and show is also brought to you by the Bombshell here in Burleson, Texas. It is bougie. It is fun. It's just a wonderful atmosphere. One of my favorite places to be. Yeah. The Bombshell here in Burleson. Find them on Burleson. The Bombshell. Is it the Bombshell Burleson?
The Bombshell Salon in Burleson.
Bombshell Salon in Burleson on Facebook. And of course, that's Lori, the amazing Lori Moore owns it, and she is my fabulous hairstylist. Don't go off of my hair today if you're watching.
Oh, well, don't go off my hair today, because it was a long weekend, and it's been a long day today, so it's a hat day.
And also brought to you by thetiffy.com. Yes. That's THETI.
We have to get sleeves into the salon.
We do.
Yeah.
The lace ones and the cotton ones and the scarves, because it's scarf season's coming.
Well, we think it's still hot outside.
Well, that's the great thing about the Tiffy, the Forever scarf, though, is you can wear it 40 different ways. So it actually works through all the seasons. Right. So go to thetiffy.com and you can learn how to turn a short sleeve shirt into a long sleeve shirt without attaching it to your clothing. So
even Jamie loves the sleeves.
Slide them off and on, wear them for sun protection, whatever you need them for. Yeah. But that is one of my companies too, so you can check it out. Yeah. So we're glad you're joining us. Tamara Payne is on her way here, and she's going to talk about the Power of We event coming up, which is kicking off GOO, which is Global Entrepreneurship Week, and this is going to be the event in Fort Worth. So it's gewfortworth.org to check out the speaker lineup and all of the sessions that you can add, the breakout sessions. Just to give you an idea as to some of the speakers, it's hosted by Max Moreau. He's with Entrepreneured. Okay. That in itself makes me want to go to his LinkedIn and learn more about him. Dr. Vanessa Boucher, co-founder and CEO of Severa. Miguel Harth Bedoya, co-founder and owner of Cowboy Compost. Jorge Venegas, he's the Dean of School of Architecture at Texas A&M University. Renje Bijoy is the founder of Immersed. Marco Johnson, he's the network builder at Sparkyard. Eli Mercer, CEO of Kingdown Ecosystems. Devin Peplow, co-founder and CEO of Sound. That's Sound with an E on the end. You can view all the speakers that are participating in GOO 2021 at gewfortworth.org. That's gewfortworth.org. But that's just some of the speakers.
Why is it every time I hear about another list of businesses, I'm like, there's somebody that does that?
Right.
Like there's businesses for everybody.
Well, that always brings me back to the pooper scooper vehicle that I always see on 35 going, brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant business owner. He's masked up for sure. There's just no way I could do that. Like over and over and over again all day long.
Like nose plugs in his nose or something.
Right.
Gloves and nose plugs. Like we can't do any of this.
Right. So there's, you really do want to check this all out. There are tons of amazing speakers, women and men.
I can't wait
for GOO Fort Worth. But Tamara's going to be joining us to talk about the Power of We, which is kicking off Global Entrepreneurship Week this year and it's an event on Sunday night on the 6th. don't make me lie. I'm sorry. The 7th, Sunday, November 7th from 3 to 5:30. And that's going to be at Tarrant County College at the Trinity River campus. So, and she's also a
Professor over there now.
she
Or like
is.
teacher, professor.
Yeah,
What-
there's
I
a
don't know.
word.
What do they call her?
I'm going to let her tell you because I can't even, I seriously can't think of what the word is like at all right now.
It's all good.
But she's gonna talk to us all about that when she comes in. So I wanted to we're talking about empowering women, but there's also, it's also important to empower your team.
Yes.
And when you empower your team, you literally empower yourself and you empower your business.
Right.
And so for women especially, it's really, really important to create a culture within your business and within your team to do that. So, there's actually a book, and this one,
I have the workbook.
you've got the work.
Yeah, it's the workbook talking about making sure you have a vision statement and a mission statement. And that's something that I struggle with. And it's not only that, I know that when you have a vision statement and a mission statement, you need to update it often as well.
You do. Well,
don't
things
need to-
change.
Yeah, things change. So your vision changes, your mission changes. But if you're not constantly,
You got to let her in.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's going to be key.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of the things, with the bombshell, you specifically talking about that is that you actually do talk your mission on a regular basis. You just don't realize it. I mean, you talk about it. You love to make your clients feel really good, but it's not just your clients. It's any client that comes into the bombshell. You want them to leave and look and feel amazing and like they just had an awesome experience.
Absolutely. And I mean, we want everybody to feel comfortable and be good there. So we made it be comfortable.
Tamara Payne, the co-founder and CEO, COO, head connector. Wait, what's your title for your connection title? Because I don't have it pulled up right now. Your chief connector of Ensemble Co-working in Fort Worth, and it is the first woman-owned co-working space in North Texas. And how many years ago now? It's been 5.5 years
Mhm.
in business. So, and made it through the pandemic. You're completely full again.
We're not completely full. Don't say that. No. We have plenty of
No.
spots.
I mean, you've got on your
offices.
Your offices. Yeah.
Yeah, we
your
have
dedicated
plenty of
offices.
dedicated desks. We have open co-working, conference room rental for sure.
Okay, so what is your name at the college?
Adjunct professor.
Adjunct. That's
Adjunct,
it.
that's it.
Neither one of us
Okay,
could think
we're
of the
like,
word. We're like, what's the word?
Professor or teacher or whatever.
I mean, you're an adjunct professor, but it's weird to say Professor Payne. It's like really weird, but yeah.
Hey, Miss PP.
But you are.
Yeah.
APP.
APP. Yeah.
Yeah, you know me. Is that the song?
You're down with
You're down with OPP.
OPP.
Hey, we could change it up a little bit and go to APP.
We could
But-
come up with our own song.
So I'm just going to touch on this really quick because I want Tamara to have the time to talk about the event because it's super important. But I've got a book here that comes with, like we were talking about, a workbook, and it's called The Confident Inspired Woman. It's a leadership series. Design your culture, empower your team. And it's a 5 proven step system. It's by Donna K. Woolham. She purposely chose the concept of design for this book. And she's got to capitalize. As a leader, you are crafting a representation of what you believe about your project, your business, or your focus of activity. As a designer, there are tools at your disposal which enable you to bring the vision to life. As a painter begins a new work. Sorry, I was like, what's wrong with me? The artist has a system she uses to bring what is in her mind's eye into existence. A musician hears a sound and uses tools to bring it to life on the keys. A weaver sees a pattern and uses the implements at hand to enable others to see it as well. You'll find the tools and systems you need here to help grow your culture. So if you're interested in this book, I believe I bought this on Amazon. And
it comes with the workbook.
So it's a really, I'm pretty sure I got it on Amazon. Doesn't look familiar to you, does it?
Yeah, we know. I'm friends with her on Facebook.
So was this an event she spoke at? Because I can't remember.
I think so.
It's been so long. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just really cool. So just something really quick to touch on that she writes in here. She says, why a book for women about designing culture? As we begin the journey of designing culture for your organization, I'm going to take the liberty of assuming some key points. You have found yourself to be a leader of a group of people, primarily women. You are serious about your role as a leader. You have heard of the need to have a team of or group culture. You may have already read books or articles about creating culture. You have not found information which resonates with you personally or outlines steps in a way that makes it easy for you to implement. Her goal is to help answer some of your questions about the designing culture. And she aims to give you tools she's learned and developed over the years to help you create this culture that you are leading amongst women, whatever it is. I mean, this could be, a church group, it could be your business, it could be, a multitude of things, like she said in the back. It's not just about business.
Right.
I mean, gosh, it could be, a mom's group that you're leading on Facebook. Some of those groups.
Anything that you learn to do in a leadership role that you take on, you can, even if you're the soccer team mom or the room mother mom or whatever, it's organization and planning and all the things that go with it. So,
the life-inspired expert, Donna K. Woolham, also known as the Lamb, living at my best. That's what she goes by. So that's super cool. So we've heard her speak somewhere.
She spoke at an event I hosted a long time ago, and this is several years old. You guys got to go follow her at donnawoolham.com. It's WOOLAM. She lost her husband within the last couple of years, maybe before COVID. And I don't know, she's just got an amazing story.
Her Facebook page is The Life Inspired. So you can find her page on Facebook if you're watching on Facebook, or if you jump around through groups and stuff on Facebook or pages. The Life Inspired is what she goes by. Also, she's got other books available at livingatmybest.com, but I'm sure you can get to all those links on her actual website. So we'll put that in there. But I just thought that this was something that I've been reading through, amongst all other books to help us grow as individuals. But, like creating a culture, I think the best example I can use on Facebook is it's the Bad Moms group. Because she created a culture of that. It's humorous. It's a safe place where you can complain about certain things or ask for some advice about your children or something that you might be going through. And you feel comfortable in that environment that no one's going to judge you or, give you garbage about it.
No, because we're in such a place in society right now where if somebody even asks a simple question, and I don't remember what somebody asked a question this weekend. I don't know. I just was catching up this morning. Somebody asked a question. Several people were like, "Oh yeah, it's like this." And somebody was like, "I don't even know why you would put that on Facebook." I'm like, really? Can you not just be quiet? Can you not just scroll past and don't answer and don't? I'm like, we're all here to help support each other. Like, let's be positive and don't put the negativity out there. It's not worth it.
Right. So Tamara's here at the table, and I know.
Let her tell us about her.
Yeah, let's talk about. So I kind of introduced everybody to GOO Fort Worth in case they didn't know about Global Entrepreneurship Week. I know I have to say it, and then
GOO.
I wish we could say GOO, but
GOO, more like it GOO.
When you say GOO, it's like, ooh, what exactly are we talking about? But this really is a fantastic week. I kind of gave them a overlay of some of the speakers that they can sign up for all of this stuff, and so the registration, where to go for all that. But you're here because the Power of We, which is one of your events that how many years has it been now?
This will be the third.
This will be the third year. So I kind of gave them the introduction to it, but it's launching on Sunday the 7th. Talk about the Power of We, what it's all about, and what this one specifically, this year's, is going to be the focus.
Can you turn my headphones down just because I can't hear? It's so loud.
Oh, seriously?
Yes,
okay.
It's so loud. Okay. So the Power of We is the power of women entrepreneurs. And this started as an event during Global Entrepreneurship Week as a means to really bring women together and to empower each other. This year, our theme is all around mental health and wellness, and the title is Your Mind, Your Health, and Your Business. Because let me tell you, ladies, and I'm sure most of you will agree that whether you're a professional in the corporate America or working for yourself, that mindset and your mind and your health of your mind affects the health of your body and affects the health of your business. So we wanted to talk openly. Our event is always about having a candid conversation and speaking openly about topics that are difficult to talk about,
Right.
and or empowering and empower growth for women. And coming out of the pandemic, I mean, I know we're still in it a bit, but coming out of the last 2 years, given what went down this summer with the Olympics and Simone Biles being a great example of caring for herself and knowing what was best for herself, we really thought that that was kind of kicking open the door for us to discuss these kinds of things. So, women, we are the worst at taking care of ourselves, at putting ourselves first, at really nurturing our own souls, and actually even recognizing when we're going down the wrong path.
Oh, absolutely.
And then and being able to tell our friends when we recognize it in them.
Right.
So we've broken this into 3 different parts, and one of the parts is going to be a discussion. I actually am speaking at my event. I usually don't do that. I usually don't MC it either. I will usually take a part. I'll do a small part. I'm speaking, and the topic of my talk is thriving with depression. Breaking. What am I going here? Go. La, 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 la. Facing the stigmas and unmasking the shame. Because when we all struggle at different times, whether it's something that's lifelong or it's something short term, there's always a shame that comes with it. And I believe this is why women don't talk about it. So when we talk about having another illness, we say, I have, dermatitis, I have thinning hair. And instead, when we have a mental illness, even if it's short term, we say, I'm suffering from depression. And I want to stop saying that. I am a woman who is thriving with depression. At times, I am severely depressed.
Well, I think the stigma that goes along with it is, when somebody, the outside person that doesn't necessarily know you completely looks at you and says, well, I mean, from the outside, it looks like she's got a great marriage, she's got a great business, she's got great kids, she's involved in all this. I mean, what does she have to be depressed about? And so that's that we are judging other women instead of saying, you know what, I'm sorry, Tamara, that you're dealing with this. What can I do to help?
Right.
We stand back and we judge for, and we don't.
Right.
And we as women forget. I mean, Tiffany and I just had a conversation about something this was last week. We won't discuss it on the air right now, but it was, why didn't you tell me this?
Mhm.
Why didn't you say this to me?
Because we live in shame. And so I want to start.
Or fear to be accepted or not accepted, or, whatever it is.
So I'm hoping at this event and my coming out and talking about this and being as honest as possible. And I'm going to tell some real true stories. And, but mostly I'm going to then encourage that we all take our masks off and we be real all the time. And that we ask for help. And then I have an amazing woman, Siobhan Palmer. She is a nationally trained suicide prevention expert trainer. And she will be talking about valuable tools to help women get back on a road to optimum wellness, body, mind, and spirit. And she's representing the Jordan Elizabeth Harris Foundation, which is a suicide prevention foundation that Ensemble proudly sponsors, and they are one of the members in our space. So that's going to be a really powerful, it's tools. It's important to us that we give people and women tools to deal with this.
Right.
But then we have this fabulous panel discussion. We're calling it Knowledge is Power panel discussion. And so in this panel discussion, each of our panelists will be giving a 3 to 5 minute mini talk, and then we'll be doing a Q&A. And so here's a couple of the things we'll be talking about. How to develop the skills to manage stress and anxiety from a licensed professional counselor. This is also another great one. Understanding, neurodiversity. This is a woman entrepreneur's journey who was recently diagnosed on the autism spectrum.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. And neurodiversity is about the different way that our brain functions.
Right.
And this is whether it's ADD, PTSD, this is what we consider all the labels, which I actually want to remove. But I also want people to understand that there's so much to this, and yet a way that we can all again thrive with it, right?
Right.
The effects of stress on our bodies, how hormones affect your mind. Small steps to better nutrition and physical fitness. We'll be talking with a master yoga therapist, a nutritionist, and hopefully, if all goes well, we'll be talking about sex and stress management as well. So we as women we're going to talk about the real stuff, right? Because sex is actually, the endorphins from sex are good for you. And again,
It's
as women,
exercise endorphins are good for you.
absolutely.
Well, but it's good. It's good for your mental health too.
yeah.
It is. It is. Well, you know what? One of the things that made me think of getting someone on that talks about this is I was on Clubhouse 4 or 5 weeks ago, one of the first few times that I was on there. And this woman came on. She was just talking as candid as possible. And she actually said, okay, someone said this to me, so I'm going to say it to you all, ladies, that you should have at least one orgasm a week because it's good for you. And I went, and she goes, yeah, I just put it out there. I'm not a sex therapist, but I'm going to tell you. And I was like, you know what? She's right. And it's another thing that we kind of have this taboo feeling about talking about it.
Right.
And we shouldn't.
Right.
And so it's a fantastic event. I'm just about to nail our MC, but I can't say who it is yet. Here's the really cool part. It's at the TCC Trinity River campus in their ballroom upstairs. And it is sponsored by Joco Community Radio. They are providing us with our bubbly and our light snacks that we'll have. And we'll have an activity. So when I said 4 parts, we always have an activity at my events because I want people to engage with each other.
Right.
And then I want them to think through, and I want them to kind of hopefully move through something, making action or taking action towards improvement and growth. And then it's immediately followed by the kickoff party for Global Entrepreneurship Week on the 2nd floor. We'll be on the 4th at 5:30 at the end of our event. Go downstairs. There'll be a DJ. There'll be food.
It's going to be
some
awesome.
Drinks, and it's going to be a big party. So we'll have some resource tables there instead of what we call vendor tables, or resource tables of resources for women to help deal with stress management, mental health and wellness, and everything around keeping our mind, body, and soul better. Because when we do that, we are better business women. And we put so much focus on learning how to do social media, learning how to make your website, learning how to write your content, learning how to manage money. And we don't put enough focus on how to manage our mind, body, and soul, because that's what makes us great entrepreneurs. So the tickets are $10. And you can go on to Eventbrite and get your ticket. And the web link, I'm trying to think of which one I want to give you guys, is bit.ly, bit.ly/power of we 21. So let me say that again. It's bit.ly, bit.ly/power of we, WE 21. And get your ticket. It's only $10. Come on, people. It's $10. And we only have one sponsor. This is not a big money maker. This is about helping women. But I do have an event company helping me. So anything you guys, get your tickets. It's more than worth it. I promise you that. Because then you get to go to the party afterwards.
That's awesome.
And it's another woman-owned business, by the way, that event company, Moxie Concepts.
Yeah, everyone that I'm using is women. All of our speakers are women vendors. And let me tell you when it is. We were very, very careful in when we chose it. It's on a Sunday, November 7th, from 3 to 5:30 in the afternoon. We wanted to make sure that we could make room for women who have children, small children, and that their events are done from Saturday, sports are done, we've gone to church, and now you can come and take a little bit of time and rest and connect with other women and allow yourself to pour into your soul. So November 7th, 3 to 5:30 at Trinity River campus, $10 for a ticket. Very simple. Grab a girlfriend and come on down and fill your soul at the Power of We event.
I love that it's all women. It's all women speakers, all women vendors. It's all of that. And part of that is to make it a safe space for
absolutely
women to share the real.
Well, and you
And
have to
that's
see,
because some aren't, they're not, you're not going to be, not everybody's going to be comfortable sharing in front of men. So it's not this is a women specific event
Right.
for this reason.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
right.
yeah, and I mean, I think that's important. You have to see other women that are, living their best life, being successful
And being real.
and being real.
And just being real.
And that's what, some of the things that Tiffany and I've talked about with, future shows that we want to do is, being there are real things that we have to talk about in business. It's not always, it's not always pretty,
Right.
and we want to make sure that, we share all the things that we know, that the good, the bad, the ugly, and the hard.
Yep.
So that people, we don't want to sugarcoat it and make them, jump out there and do it because it's all perfect. We don't want a lot of people like that.
You got to have thick skin to be an entrepreneur and to start your own business. I mean, you really, really. Now, that doesn't mean that, every woman who starts their own business is this really tough, woman. That's not what this means. It means that you have to be willing to fail forward, and then pull up your big girl panties and keep on going.
And that's what I was talking about Tamara earlier. She's one of the people that can help you work through this. When you call her and set up an appointment with her, she's the one that can say, okay, it's time to, shake that off and move on, and, leave the past in the past and let's move forward. And, is this working for you or not working for you? And that's what, she's so great at that. So
thank you.
Toot.
Yeah, it takes drive and determination. I mean, you've got to have that thick skin, but honestly, I'd say drive, determination, dedication. It's really what it takes.
Well, thanks for hosting another Power of We event. Again, November 7th, get your tickets. We've put them in all the comments, and you can listen back to get all the information. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Bombshell. We'll see you next week, guys. Have a great week.
Thank you.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters. A lawsuit is filed against the Biden administration over its reversal of a Trump-era abortion referral ban.
Ohio's Attorney General has filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court in Cincinnati against the Biden